evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Game 1 of today's Game for Nature Scrims. We are starting off in Erangel and the flight will take off in roughly 26 seconds time. And here we go with a flight path taking us over Quarry, Ferry Pier, Pachinki, School, Rozhok and Yasnaya Polyana. A few hot drops in Erangel are being covered in this flight path, and in just a moment's time the teams will start taking off. And the first to jump appears to be team number 7, the task team, going away from Primorsk towards the coastline and taking the left rotation round to cover the other areas of this map, with team 6, Gods of Greece, also jumping, and teams 20 along with team 5 and team 17 there. And at the moment we are still with team 2, who are yet to jump from the plane, but we'll need to very shortly. They could possibly be going towards Yasnaya. It is a hot drop, not one of the most well-known hot drops. That usually goes to either Pachinki, Military or Georgiopol, but nonetheless it is a good loot drop, especially for early on in the game. And team 2 have now been booted out of the plane, it appears, along with team 12, and they are now going towards Kameshki, with team 8 looking to head towards a military base, team number 6 down at Primorsk, and teams 17, 9, 4 and 3 yet to decide their final location. But what we will do now is let team 2 go up to Kameshki and go right over to team number 16, who is in Yasnaya. It's the Zen team. And it seems as though Team 16 are lagging at the moment, with Zen Supreme doing what can only be considered as similar to Irish dancing. So let's leave Team 16 at the moment and go straight to Team 14, who are also at Yasnaya and are shooting towards Team 11. And there we've just seen T8 Poison get a knock on the left hand side there. And NM Dragon has just got a kill on Enishiro. And NM Astrix has just got a knock on the left hand side there. So let's jump over to them now, see what is going on. And Toria has just got a knock there, as Team 15 go up against Team 12 at Pachinki. And Toria has just been knocked. let's go straight to a bird's eye view. We have got Quinn on the roof here with Guess just around running away now. Couple of shots making contact, with B2K now starting to get some knocks on the left hand side there against the Zen team. And that is the Zen team wiped by B2K. So we now have Sheriff and Guest, the last standing members of Team 12, with Quinn scoping in from the rooftop to the left at 100. And that is Quinn getting a knock on Sheriff. And we now have Guess on the top floor of the building. Team 15 are now moving in. And here we go. So that is Guess getting a knock there. And Guess getting another knock on Toria and getting the kill there. And Guess has just managed to knock Quinn, and that is the end there, with Keena getting the kill on Guess and wiping out Sheriff also, and is now going in for the revive on Quinn. So let's now have a look at the map. We have Team 11 approaching Team 2 at the moment, with Team 17 near to Team 4, Team 9 and Team 3, with Vape Slayer getting a kill on Team 13 there. So let's keep an eye on the situation as it unfolds. And we're now seeing Sig go up against the NM team. With Sig Fury getting the kill on Shanana there. And Slayer gets the finish on Maniac. And Nerd No there with 77 getting Nerdjuru. And Sig and NM are still going up against each other towards the coast. And that leaves Team 21 to call the mansion their own. So let's jump back down now to Team 9 and Team 4, where we will find Sig and X11. And Team 3 have just jumped out of their vehicles on top of the mountain and now shooting towards X11. And next gets Kenrick, and Exacxi gets Clyde there. So that is the end of that team, with Team 3 being successful. And we are still with Team 3, and they have just seen a drop to the left hand side around the west mark. And Team 3 are just getting in their vehicles now to start making a move, with the drop still over at West 280 there. It seems to be untouched at the moment, with Task Andrex getting a kill on Yes Haniwa on the left hand side there. And yes, Rosie has just knocked Task Marina. So let's jump over quickly and leave Team 3 to their drop, with Andrex trying to revive at the moment. It's 3 members of Team 7 up against 2 of Team 20. And that is the end of the Task team, with all remaining 3 members being killed by Yes, Rosie. And yes, Clow is knocked at the moment. It seems as though Rosie will not be able to make it in time to revive. And yes, unfortunately, Yes, Clow does not make it, leaving Yes, Rosie the last standing member of Team 20. And now if we look at the map, the zone is going to change in roughly 2 minutes 44 seconds time. The zone is then going to keep in play Pachinki, School, Ruins, Farm, parts of the military island and part of the ferry pier there. We have at the moment teams 6 and 11 needing to come into zone, with T8 having to travel across a bridge or across water, with Gods of Greece just having to drive or walk down the road there, and they will be in zone in no time at all, with teams 15 and 5 at centre zone, and teams 21 just separated a little, with Vape 77 and Rogue Fallen just driving over to meet up there. We have, yes, Rosie from Team 20 on her own on the left hand side there, with 3 members of Team 10 just above her. We have teams 4 on the right side with Team 2, Team 14, and then we have teams 8 coming up from the south of the map, and Team 11 still haven't made a move as of yet. So we are now just approaching the halfway mark. We are with Team 20 at the moment. There is 42 players still alive in this match. It is still very much all to play for, with the zone changing in 1 minute 5. And there we see IMV Virus getting a knock on the left hand side there. So let's jump over and have a look as we see Team 5 going up against Team 10. And Virus is rotating on the left hand side there, whilst his remaining teammates give supporting fire at the moment. And GF next up manages to knock Rav Reckless on the left hand side there, with Virus going up against Hilo at the moment with a Car 98. And he has been spotted, so shots are now being fired in this direction. And Xeon gets the kill on Rav Reckless there. And Virus has just been hit hard by the B4 team. With Rav Russia falling by knock, and Virus managing to knock B4 v Abby there. And B4 Abby has been revived, and we see Virus still trying to scope in on them. But is now making the retreat. And let's have a look at the next zone, which seems to be half land, half water, with teams 14, teams 2, teams 15, 10, 5, 21, 20, and T8 Poison of team 11 having to make their way in, with Cronus getting a knock on Sig there. So let's have a look at who it is, and it's Sig Fury that has been knocked by Gods of Greece. And let's go to a bird's eye view as we have a look at our current situation. We have Team 11 up at 190, Team 21 at 210, Team 5 at 240. We have Team 4 in this compound just below, with T8 Poison rotating on the outside of this building, now hiding by the main door, and is going in on the ground floor at the moment, looting the bottom floor of the building. With Sig just dropping out now, and is now in the bottom floor, with T8 Poison just to the right side. And that is it, with T8 Poison being knocked by Sig. And we now have Team 3 over at 100 with a drop at 75, with Team 6 up at 30, and Team 15 coming up on the left hand side at 345. And that is Quinn being knocked by Zeus there. So let's jump in and have a quick look, with Zeus preparing a grenade. As we now see 4 members of Team 6 up in the open, with 3 members of Team 15 to the right hand side there. There is not a lot of cover in this location other than the trees, and that is why, as Team 15 have done, smokes can become very important in this sort of situation. And as we see a Jeep driving off at 165, looking to have crashed into the rocks over there. And the Jeep has just been blown up there. And Team 15 now look to be retreating, leaving Team 6 on their own at 155 at the moment, with Team 4 down at the compound at 190. We are just heading to the 20-minute mark of game number 1. We still have 39 players remaining, with Team 15 just driving off to the right-hand side. They're at West, and they now found themselves in a red zone, with Team 4 possibly making the good decision to stay inside to shade themselves from any bombs that are dropped. And with Team 6 inside the open, this could be a very unfortunate couple of moments for them, but we shall see whether they make it through. And Team 6 are now firing towards Team 2 over at 75, with GF going up against Vape, with TA Unknown knocking Fallen and Nerd being knocked by Explosion. And here come the bombs from the red zone, with SK Botop being knocked by Explosion now, a member of Team 2. And Team 6 are still firing shots there. And Team 6 have made it through the red zone, with Team 2 having a player knocked as a result. So we still have Team 15 over at Southwest. We have Team 4 at 190, 195, with GOG Triton knocking Nerd Ken there, and Villain knocking Cronus. So it is very much Team 6 being sandwiched in between Team 15 and Team 2, with B2K knocking a member of SK on the left-hand side there. And that is Vape 77 knocking T8 Unknown, with Rog Fallen getting a member of T8 also, and that's a kill on Unknown. And Virus has now knocked GF Exacxy. And B4V going down also. So let's jump over to the B4 team. And that is Team 10, who have found themselves just on the coastline at the moment, taking cover behind a tree. Smoke's going down as a result of the car being nearby, because if that is exploded, that will be the end of 2 members of Team 10. Shots are starting to be fired at the vehicle, with the smoke now ending, giving full view to any other teams. And here is B4V1 managing to knock a member of Team 5, Ace Skyrus, by the looks of it. Now being revived by Virus with Static on standby. And now the blue zone will start pushing in around 25 seconds time, so they will need to start making a move. And here we see 7 Rav managing to get some kills on the SK team, with team members of Team 2 going down, with GF also being knocked and killed. And that is Nerd Quinn managing to knock Vape Rocky there. with Team 10 now arriving to Teams 5 and 14, trying to hold this compound with a grenade, knocking B for the Abbey. And here comes another grenade, also managing to knock one there. And that is it, with one being killed by grenade and Abbey being killed by In the Virus. And Manish is now being revived by Helu, with SK Hacker knocking Rav Russia and Helu knocking SKMD. And there we see Sig Fury getting Triton and Hacker killing Russia. And looking at the map briefly, it appears as though Team 6 are the only team nearby to the zone at the moment. So let's have a quick bird's eye view look as we see Team 5 holding the compound at 150. We see Team 8 over at 185. We see Team 21 over at 205. We see Team 10 at 240, with members of Team 5 now driving away, being shot at by Team 10, with Static knocking Manish and Gog Medusa knocking GRD Static. And Helu has left Manish and is now driving into the zone, as the play zone manages to knock Rav B there, and Ace Skyrus knocking Nerd Quinn, with Zeus knocking Static. And there we see Helu just getting the kill on Melisio there, and the play zone killing Rav B. And that's going to be the end of Rav Rex over at 120, being killed by the play zone, with Vape 77 at the bottom of the mountain, with Medusa being knocked, with Team 6 going up against Team 5, and before the Helu of Team 10. And now with Team 5 in the zone, Team 6 and 10 will need to make their way in. Looks as though Triton is going to make the first push, with Team 5 now firing at Team 6, and a car has just been exploded. And here we go with Cronus being knocked by Static and Medusa, and Virus being knocked by Triton. And their vehicle has just been exploded to act as cover for them. Well, with the blue zone pushing in, this could be the end of team number 6, and it is, leaving team number 5 to go up against a solo member of team 10, with Helu now being pushed in by the zone. And that is the end of game number 1, with GRD Static, Ace Skyrus, Trinity Astic and Envy Virus winning game number 1 with 12 kills. We have B4V in second with 1. We have Gods of Greece in third with 3 kills, with Vape in fourth with 7, and 7 Rav in fifth with 4 kills. This has been game number 1. If you have enjoyed this stream, please follow the channel with new content added daily. We will be back in just a moment for game number 2. This is Game for Nature Scrims. I am Ab Summer, and we will be right back.